Hello and welcome. This isn't a Warhammer Wednesday video, but it is a Warhammer video, of course. I just wanted to unbox and review the Custodian Guard Sagittarum squad by Forge World. It's up to you. You can either buy the Sagittarum squad, which is 5 Custodian Guard, and the upgrade sprue for £51. This is what will come with the box. Or you can just buy the upgrade set separately. I bought the upgrade set separately because the cheaper way of doing it is to buy the set separately and then to buy these upgrades sets. I'm so pleased that they did that. Thank you, Forge World. I wish you did that with all of your kits, because at the end of the day the money is all still going to you guys, and I'd like to see you do that with sort of like the Land Raiders and definitely the Predators, maybe even the Rhinos at some point, because then it gives people the option of buying the set straight away, or just buying the set if they had a spare model, or if they got the model from somewhere else. So this is what you get for your sort of £16. Get a little clan pack. I got 2. Obviously there's going to be 10 of them for me, because I just sort of fell in love with the weapons. Really like the helmets too, and those Adrathic bolt guns are just absolutely insane. Instant death. They're combi weapons, but they can always fire the Adrathic part. So what we'll do is we'll just open these up, then I'll go away, quickly wash them, and I've already got some Custodian Guard pre-made, so it shouldn't take too long for me to glue these onto some Custodian Guard and show you what they look like on model. I'm not going to open the other set, but we'll just keep it there anyway. So these are the helmets. Look lovely. I really like the fact that there's the eagle on the top, just like with the your standard Custodian Guard. I like the fact that there's just a point as well, that there's no flowing mane. The flowing mane sort of doesn't really suit these guys, well, in my opinion. So that's the helmets. These are the arms. So you get just enough to cover your 5 Custodian Guard. I don't think much has changed compared to the arms. They're just more in firing a ballistic weapon rather than, you know, Guardian Spear or Sentinel Blade. And then these are the Adrathic weapons themselves. They're huge. I mean, it's just like bolt guns, but much bigger, bit bigger than a combi weapon too. They are very thick. They've got the thickness right there, and there's 5 of them. Very nice. And then finally the 4th sprue is just the left arms, so not much has changed either. Let's just see if you get any instructions and things. I very much doubt it. Nope. So but to be fair, it shouldn't really be too difficult to work out what to do. So join me in part 2, where you see 5 Sagittarum Custodians all made up. So see you in part 2. And here they are built. Now I've built 5 of them. I've got another 5 currently being built as we speak. I didn't want to lose the light for the rest of the day, hence why there's only 5 there. They went together okay. I mean, you're always going to get a bit of a trade-off with resin and plastic models, combi models. In my opinion, they are the hardest models to build. Resin, you know what you're getting yourself in for. You can manipulate pieces, bend them slightly, and it's super glue on super glue, and that's quite straightforward. Likewise with plastic. Plastic, you know, you use your plastic glue and it melts and it bonds the 2 pieces together. My opinion is that resin on plastic is always the most difficult to sort of deal with. If you look at, I don't have a Storm Eagle, but I've been told the Storm Eagle is a bit of a nightmare to build. Some of the tanks from Forge World that use the plastic and resin pieces combined, bit of a pain. Usually best off either full plastic or full resin. But having said that, these models look really cool. The guns are absolutely huge, much bigger than a bolt gun. Absolutely amazing. So they use the standard plastic set for the Custodian Guards, or Custodes. I've been told off about that a few times. Sometimes I call them custodes. Custodes, but apparently they're Custodes. So Custodes it is. That's quite a cool one. He's sort of moving around a corner maybe, scanning an area for a space marine to just annihilate him with his instant death ray gun. VWAAPP comes to mind. These guys they're just incredible. I've got Inferno right there because I'll go through their rules at the end of this unboxing and review. I don't normally do an unboxing, review and rules and things in one, but I thought this time I would. Another cool looking model. It's going to be difficult for me now to pose the next 5 to look completely different to these when the plastic kits, they're quite limited now. I mean, I've now got 10 Custodian Guard, you know, which is a huge amount. But then again, I am amassing a chapter, so to have 20 isn't too bad, you know, when I'll have over 1,000 Space Marines. There you go, this guy. I really like that pose. Sort of bracing, firing this VWAAPP sort of death ray. Excellent. And then this guy running. The running guys look quite similar. I've put his weapon facing down. Maybe it's too far facing down, I don't know. But as you can see, they're quite similar looking. I think for another running pose, I'll try and have them aiming and running for the next set. But there you go. Let's have a look at the rules. So unfortunately, 40k players can't use them in your 40k games. I doubt they'll change the rules to make it that you can either. I've just called in some support from the other Custodian Guard there. Not that they need it, but there you go. So unfortunately you can't use these in your 40k games, but in Horus Heresy you can. They're the Legio Custodes Sagittarum Guard squad. They'll set you back 185 points for 3. I've got 5 there, so that's an extra 130 points. So that squad there is 315, if my maths serve me right, just for 5. 315 points for 5. You'll find them in the heavy support choice, which is incredible for a troop looking like unit. Their main sort of competition in that unit type is the Caladius Grav Tank and the Galatus Dreadnought, you know, the one with the Galatus Warblade. So quite contested area there. How do they compare to a normal Custodian Guard squad? Well, their stat line is exactly the same. You know, your weapon skill 5, ballistic skill 5, strength and toughness 5, 2 wounds, initiative 5, 2 attacks, leadership 9 and a save of 2+. You can give them a Coronis Grav Carrier if there's 6 of them or less. You can have another 7 in there, so you can have 10. So you can have up to 7 more. So you can have 10 in total in your heavy support choice. You can give Melter Bombs, Array Shrikes, Teleportation Transponders, pretty decent. And one of them can exchange his Adrastus Bolt Caliber for an Adrathic Destructor and Magisterium Vexilla for 5 points. So what do they have? Well, they've got your standard, you know, 2+ armor save, and then you have your Refractor Field, which is your 5+ invulnerable. Got Plasma and Crack Grenades. They're bulky and they've got special rules Crusader. But for these guys, it's all about their Adrastus Bolt Calibers. These weapons are basically a hybrid of later pattern Imperial bolt weapons and the Adrastite disintegration beam weapons, which were prohibited from the Great Crusade. Basically fulfills the role of a portable heavy weapon for the Custodes. It can unleash a fusillade of explosive rounds at long range, much like Heavy Bolter, but it also has got shorter range disintegration beam to rip a target apart at a molecular level, causing its victims to cease to exist in a howling flare of energy. So very sort of Dalek Doctor Who disintegration beam kind of thing on the bottom of these guys. Adrastus Bolt Calibers. I like this a lot. So it's a combination weapon, and you can fire it at either a volley of bolter fire or disintegration in the shooting phase, and you must declare which is used before the dice rules, but you can declare each model rather than the unit, so the whole unit don't have to fire on the same mode, which is unique. And it's one or the other, so you either fire it as bolt volley or you fire it as disintegration beam, which is fantastic. So you've got 5 of them, but you've got enemies at sort of 20-inch range, obviously fire the bolt volley. You've got enemies within sort of 10 inches, you can split your fire. You can have 3 of them firing the disintegration beams and the other 2 firing the bolt volley. I'll give you the stat line of the Adrastis bolt caliber. So the bolt volley is range 30 inches. It's a strength 5, AP4, heavy 3. It's pretty much a heavy bolter. The disintegration beam is 12 inch, strength 5, but it's AP2. It's assault 1, instant death, armor bane, and gets hot. So yeah, unfortunately it does have that gets hot. So there is a downside to firing a disintegration beam. So they're not as technologically amazing as one would think. You could actually get that one and cause a bit of damage to your own custodian guard, but I think the trade-off is there. You know, they're bulky, so they're gonna be able to fire these anyway. And the instant death plus the armor bane is just incredible. I mean, they can definitely take down heavily armed targets. I mean, that's not their preferred target, but still. So I just thought I'd spend a bit of time talking to you about the rules. I think these are an excellent choice in any Talons of the Emperor force for your 30k games. And if you're building a custodian guard element to your chapter like myself, then these are definitely a must buy, must include. I think they look really cool. I really like their combination weapons too. So thank you ever so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. The Emperor Protects.